Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another very important topic of components, that is how to pass data from child component to parent component. So far we discussed a process through which we were sending the data from parent to child, right? But this time we are sending the data from child to parent component. Okay. So we will proceed in the same way. I'll explain everything from scratch. We will create one new component as a child component. Then we will send the data from child component to parent component. Okay. But before we proceed further, I just want to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to send data from child to parent component. Okay, fine. So let's create the component. So this is my default project, which we are using from last couple of sessions. Okay, so we are going to use the same project here. So we just need to create one child component. So let's click on new terminal. Here we will use the command to create the component. So here I'm running the command nggc and the component name is login. So what it will do, it will generate the component with the name login. Okay, now you can see we have created the component which contains 4 files: login.component.css, login.component.html, login.component.spec.ts, and login.component.ts. Now the first thing that we want to whenever you are thinking about to transfer data from child to parent, the first thing that you are supposed to do is to establish the connection between parent and child component. Okay, so let's establish the connection. So for that, let's go to this login.component. From here, copy this selector, go to this app.component.ts file. Here we will just mention login component. Okay, it automatically adds this thing. Now we will go to app.component.html. Here we will use this selector as a tag. Perfect. Now once connection is established, now we want to send the data. Okay, so it's time to establish a communication channel. Okay, so how to do this? So to achieve this thing, we will use output decorator. So simply go here, write output. Once you write output here, it will automatically add this output. Okay, then opening closing parenthesis, then my output. Okay, let me explain it in a more simpler way. So suppose, because usually what we were doing, we were not using any kind of event for sending the data from parent to child, but in this scenario, when we are sending the data from child to parent, then we use some of the events as well. Okay, why? Let me explain you. So suppose you want to send the data, which is this message, output message. Let's make it as output message. Okay, so you want to send this data to whom? To child. So to parent. So what we will write here, message from child. So this is the message I want to send from child component to parent component. But we are not supposed to send it directly. Okay, instead of this, we are supposed to create one channel that will help us to emit this data to parent component. Emit means just to put it in an area from where the component will pick it up. Okay, so how to do this? So to establish that communication channel, now we will use output decorator. So simply write here output. Okay, and then opening closing parenthesis, then the name of that channel through which we will send the data. So let's put it as my output. Okay, my output, then colon, and here we will use event emitter. This is case sensitive, so remember you are writing everything correct. Okay, so write event emitter, then you have to put the type of the data which you want to send. Here I want to send string data, so I just use it string. Then you need to write it like this: new event emitter. Okay, then opening closing parenthesis and semicolon. Perfect. So what we did so far, we have established one communication channel. What this communication channel will do, it will just tell the parent component that I'm going to send you a data, so listen to my output to get it. Okay, so from this we are just informing parent that we are going to send the data which will come with the name my output. Okay, and what message we are sending? This is the message, output message. So from this we will send this, but how? Using functions. Okay, so let me show you how to create the function. So here we need a function, because without function we are not able to send the data. So to send the data, we will create a send data function. Okay, so right here send data, opening closing parenthesis and then curly braces. If you don't know much about functions, it's completely fine, although like these are the prerequisites of learning Angular, but fine, I'll explain you everything in simple way, so maybe you will understand how we are using function. So function is nothing but a block of code that is executed whenever the function is called. So in the send data, we will assign the message. We will send the data. How? You just need to write here this dot my output, which we have created as a connection. Okay, so my output dot emit. So this is now helping us. Okay, emit means for sending the data. Okay, so emit, what to emit? This message. So we will write here this dot output message. Okay, so not, I think, yeah, that is also fine. So let's save it. So what we are basically doing here, we have established the connection, then we have established we have added the message. Now we have created one function which will send or which will emit the data. What data? This output message data. Okay, clear? Now next thing is, we have created this thing, but we have not provided any way through which we will call this function. So for that we will go to this HTML login.component.html area. Here we will write we will create one button. In this button we will write click this button to send data to parent component. Okay, so what basically we are doing here, we are just showing this message. Okay, you can create a short button also, like send data or something, but I just want to make it very short that you got the understanding. So we just wrote it completely. Click this button to send the data, send data to parent component. Now here we will bind the event. Okay, so for that we will use here click event. We will write click, and which function we are supposed to call? We are supposed to call send data component, send data function. Perfect, that's it. Okay, so from login part we are done with all things, because we have created the communication channel, then we stored the message, and we have shared the message through function. We have wrote the function where we are sending the data through my output to emit it, and the message is output message. Then in login.component.html we are using this button. Whenever user click on this button, it will send that data. Okay, now we will go to this app.component.ts file, because here we want to receive the data. So before ts, let's go to app.component.html. Here we will tell that we are going to receive the data which will come with a name, which is coming with a name app my output. Okay, so here you need to mention my output, and this is event. Okay, so for event we will use opening and closing parenthesis. Earlier we were using the brackets, right? But this time we are using event, so use this bracket. Okay, so my output. Okay, then equal, and what message we are getting? So we want to accept this message through function, so we will write here get data, and in this get data we will store the message in event. Perfect. Okay, now let's go to app.component.ts file, where we will receive the data in a function. So we will write here get data, then opening closing curly braces, and here we will mention like we need to mention like how we are going to receive the data. So we want to receive the data in value colon, and type would be string. Okay, and then we will set the value of this, we will utilize it. So to utilize it, this dot message equal value. So what basically we are doing, we are receiving this and storing it into message, but we have not declared this, right? So let's declare this variable outside the function. So we are declaring the variable as string and assigning the blank value. Perfect. Okay, so what we did, we created this function. What it will do, like whenever we are receiving the data in app.component.html, we will store it into one event, and that event value we are storing into this message. Now we just need to print the value. So to print the value, you can simply write here message received from parent, not from parent, from child component. Okay, then colon, and here we will write message. Perfect. Now you can save it, and we can save all files, because it is important to save all file, otherwise you might get error. Now we can run this application. So ng serve -- open. So if all these issues are resolved, it will directly call the program, means call the browser. Otherwise it will show you the error message, and we will fix that. Okay, let's hit enter. So it is throwing one error. Let's see what error we are getting. Message does not exist on the app component. Did you mean message? So let's go and see where it is causing the error. Here we are using message. Save it. Perfect. So there was issue related to case sensitivity. Okay, we were trying to use capital M, so that's why it was giving the error, but now you can see it is working fine. Okay, so let's see how it is working. So we are getting this thing from app.component.html. This is from child component, and here we have one button with this text. Okay, so what button is saying? It is saying click this button to send the data to parent component. So whenever we click the button, you will see that this message is coming here, message from child. Okay, so this is how it is working. So on a click, it is sending the data to parent component, and then parent component is using that data. Clear? So I hope this entire process is clear to all of you, like how we are sending the data from child to parent component. Process is very simple, just we are using few new things, so don't worry. If you have any query, you can simply ask in the comment section, but let me recap it for you. What you need to do, simply create one component, go to app.component.ts file, and in that app.component.ts file, establish the communication channel, which we are using here. Output, my output event emitter. Event emitter is mainly used for sending, you can see here, using components with the output directed to emit custom events synchronously, asynchronously, and register handlers for. Don't go in that deep. Okay, just keep it in mind that this is helping us to send the data. So we have established it. Now we are sending or emitting the data. This is the message, and we are sending it through function. Go to HTML file, define the function, and on this button click, this function will evoked. After evoking the function, we will receive it here. So here we are binding it event. That's why we are using this parenthesis and instead of brackets, and then we are receiving it into one function that will hold the event. Now in app.component.ts, we are accepting the data as a string, and then that value we are storing into another variable, that is message. We have declared it, and in app.component.html, we are just simply printing that value using double curly braces. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.